And now it's time for Coach's Comments, presented by Southside Auto Tech. Cristiano Simonetta with you, alongside Stars head coach and GM Cody Chupp. Cody, your team loses this one 3-1 against the Des Moines Buccaneers, but it's a game where you put up 45 shots on net. The puck luck just isn't there. You have a couple posts, Power in the first, Barbolini in the third. What can you take away from this game that can fuel your guys' effort tomorrow night, where you didn't want to have a lackluster game against Tri-City on the Sunday, the second game of two? Well, now you have an opportunity to fire the frustrations there on the Friday night game, the second game of two tomorrow night. You have a clean slate, 0-0 starting tomorrow at 7.
Yeah, I think the takeaway is the chances that we produced, especially in our 5-on-5 game throughout the course of the game. You know, the frustrating part is it took them scoring to really jumpstart our game, and for us that's not acceptable at any point, but especially at home. And to wait around for something bad to happen in this league, I think what we've learned this year is if you wait around for it, it will. And you know, tonight I really thought the difference was our details and the little details, and we produced 45 shots, we hit posts, we had enough chances to score, to win, but it was the little things that we weren't locked in enough or we weren't willing enough to do. And to me, it's, you know, our face-offs, our willingness to get to the net front, to take eyes away, to produce those second chance opportunities, to create a little bit of havoc at the net front and force the goalie to see through traffic. Those are the areas that we have to improve on going into tomorrow night, and if we do that and put up 45 shots, we'll be just fine. You know, our power play needs to be better. I thought our power play was a little bit of a product of our slow start. The way we played in that start really translated into our power play. We were trying to force plays instead of taking what was available to us, and you know, I thought that was the difference, especially early on in our 5-on-5 game as well.
Is that something that Des Moines is able to deploy in terms of their forecheck on the penalty kill? But even at 5-on-5, like you mentioned, the passes just weren't there, the tape-to-tape passes, your transition game, your counterattack. How can you rally the troops again tomorrow night and make sure that you're just one step better? Because you had several plays throughout this game where it's 5 inches of a pass that just goes the other way, or a shot. We mentioned the goalposts. 3 inches the other way, it's in the back of the net, and you've got some momentum out of it.
Yeah, it's not to take anything away from their goaltender. He played really well. He had some good puck luck. For us, it's not a situation where we're not capable of doing it. I think our preparation and our focus going into the game is a key contributor to how we start and the success that we have in that start. And, you know, like I mentioned, our details were not sharp early on. Our puck play wasn't sharp enough, and when you're on your heels to start, all of a sudden all that does is put you into a situation where now you're trying to force more things rather than just buckling down, getting to the basics. And for us, it's about taking what the game gives us in our transition game, because our forecheck has been effective all year long. We're able to get in on pucks, take pucks away, and create some offensive zone time. But a team like Des Moines that lives off transition, if you're fueling that transition game, especially from the offensive blue line, you know, you're putting yourself into situations where you're wasting a ton of energy on back checks instead of exerting that energy in offensive zone play. And that was what hurt us early on. And, you know, we rebounded to a certain degree, but anytime you're not doing those things to start, it's really tough to get to that throughout the course of the game, especially when you're playing from behind and you're on your heels a little bit. So for us, it's about our start tomorrow, making sure we're locked in those details, taking what the game gives us, playing a simple game in our own end, simple transition with speed and support, and then ultimately taking what the game gives us at the offensive blue line. If we're putting pucks behind skates and having to drive, be first on possession, we're still fine. We don't have to make the pretty seam play or the individual effort to produce goals. We have to have everybody on the same page, everybody working towards the same thing. And when we do that, we've seen throughout the course of the year, we're very effective at it. We can't have any passengers tomorrow night. These are two really big points for us. They're at home, and they mean that much more to us.
Jake Musatelli currently suspended. He started both games against Waterloo last weekend. Ryan McKinchek, interesting game for him tonight. First 5 minutes, he gets thrown into the fire. 3 10-bell saves to start off this one. 18 total shots against. How tough is that for a goaltender when he's not really in a groove? He doesn't get a lot of shots on goal because your defense really kept Des Moines to the outside for the majority of that game, other than the 3-goal sequence in 12 minutes. What have you seen from Mac in the game against Waterloo and now the game tonight against Des Moines that'll give you confidence leaning on him as Moose's sideline with that suspension?
Yeah, I've said all along that I think both of our goalies are capable, and this is a big opportunity for Mac to step up and really take control and be the man, at least over the course of the next 6 games. So it's a huge opportunity for him. I think he was solid tonight, and obviously we want him to be better tomorrow, like all the guys in front of him. So to me, the shots maybe you don't get the real story of the game through looking at the shots, but we expect him to be better tomorrow. We expect everybody in front of him to be better tomorrow.
One last question for you, Cody. You've made some moves over the past couple of weeks, Ryan McCollum, Anthony Malika. What have they done to change up your defense? Because adding that right shot in Malika, he's got a good shot from the point. You saw a couple of second-chance opportunities thanks to his wrister and his slap shot. But McCollum as well, in your own end, being able to transition. What have they helped you guys in your own end do better than perhaps in the last couple of weeks when you were on that losing skid?
Yeah, Robbie has been here longer, and what he's added is the ability to play big minutes in key situations for us, and to be the guy that's matched up against top pairs from time to time. And he's gobbled up a lot of minutes for us, which is huge, and it's exactly what we were looking for. And then Anthony is a young kid who. He's got 17 games under his belt in the North American League. Last year he played high school hockey in Michigan. I played high school hockey in Michigan, so I know what he was doing last year. I saw him last spring playing for Team Michigan over in Minnesota. So he's young, but there's a ton of potential there. I think we're starting to see little spurts of his offensive ability, his ability to move across the blue line, to get his head up and deliver pucks to the net. And if you can do those things, you've got a bright future ahead of you. And I think there's a ton of potential for Anthony, and he's continuing to get better even over the short span that he's been here with us. He's improving every single day, so he's doing everything that we've asked of him. And you're starting to see his confidence start to grow with the puck, especially in the offensive zone. So we've been really pleased with both of those guys. They've added depth to our back end, which is huge for us, and we look forward to them continuing to get better and grow as the season goes on.
Thanks so much for doing this, Cody. That was Coach's Comments presented by Southside Auto Tech. Stars lose this one 3-1 to the Des Moines Buccaneers. These two teams will be back in action tomorrow night at 7:05 at the Icebox. We'll see you then.